Yo, what's up, guys? It's Talon. Today we're going to be going through a game where my team is kind of feeding pretty early on, but we're still able to kind of come back and play really well. And we're going to talk about what exactly we do to do that. First, going into the draft, I lock in Quirky because they're pretty tanky and kind of melee focused, which means they're easy to auto attack and get close to. And Quirky does really well in those types of games. And then I have an AP jungler, so having an AD mid laner is nice. Those are the main reasons. They're not overly tanky, but they're pretty melee focused, which is kind of, a shorter range, that type of thing. Really makes the champion pretty good here. It turns out that it's actually Tristana mid and Swain ADC, oddly. But yeah, going into the initial lane matchup, I realized that I can't have really long trades with Tristana because if she uses her third ability on me and then gets a lot of autos, I'm going to take a lot of damage. But if she gets a third ability in one auto or something, I'm going to be able to trade back damage just fine. So you can see here, I'm already trying to get some poke on her. She lets me outspace her because she does have shorter range than me, level 1. Tristana obviously gets more range the higher level she goes, and so you can see there that's the kind of combo I wanted. I got an auto attack first ability auto attack because I have fleet footwork, and all he got was auto third ability, so I'm just kind of getting the advantageous trade in that type of situation. And then I hit level 2 and I know he doesn't yet have his bomb because he just used it, and so then I trade really hard with him, and now he's not able to use his bomb until the end of the trade, which means he doesn't get any additional auto attacks, which again gives me the advantageous trade here. I now deny him a gold or a minion as well, so he loses out on the golden XP from that, and he's already taken his fruit and he's still only equal health to me. So again, I get that same trade that I've been talking about. As long as he's not able to get full value from his kit, which he can't if he doesn't get more autos on me once he uses his third ability, I know I'm going to trade effectively, and so I just keep doing that. And now I know he can't walk up for these last hits because he's just too low. He's going to take too much damage, and so he loses out on 2 full minions, and we're already super far ahead. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking more about how to play when your teammates are doing pretty poorly and kind of what to do in the mid game. So we're just going through the lane phase initially. You see me again denying him more gold. And then I realize at this point, I'm not going to deny him too much more gold. And so it makes sense to start pushing more hard so that I can then get a recall for my boots. So that's kind of the thing I'm looking for. I'm also looking to trade with him when he walks up again because he does give me easy angles to trade. But now at this point, if I can create a time to recall, that's nice. But I'm also up a level right now, so it's not the end of the world. To stay around a bit longer. But yeah, we have an absolutely massive advantage at this point, and all he has is a crit cloak alongside his, or not crit cloak, the crit, the 500 gold crit thing, and he has a long sword, so he's not even much stronger than me, even though he already got a recall off because he didn't get a recall off for boots, and he's just, again, very weak, so I'm able to kind of keep trading with him. So I could have looked for a recall, as we said, but because of the fact that he's still pretty weak, I was kind of just able to stay in lane and be pretty fine. But yeah, you're going to see, again, starts off quite poorly. We have already a couple deaths. I think my teammates botched the dive here, if I remembered correctly, on top side as well, and end up dying. And so we kind of have just like a really rough start. And so when we're in this type of game where you're doing pretty well in lane, obviously you see like I have an advantage, but your team's not doing so well. Main thing you got to understand is all that matters, especially as a scaling champion like Quirky, is get to your items, get yourself as much gold as you can, and you'll have a chance to carry. Because no matter how fed the enemy get, if you reach 3-4 items on Quirky, and this is true of, again, obviously any scaling champion, you can really do a lot regardless. So that's kind of the main thing I'm looking for, is I want to continue to further this lane advantage if I can. And then if I'm able to find a roam angle on 4 or 5 minutes, and take kind of some plates off after that roam, that's what I'm going to look for. But for now, again, we're just going to continue to push this lead because we see the Tristana. She's very low. And we get the Leona roam as well. So at this point, we're crashing a wave. We know that Tristana can't really walk up because she's going to get Leona ulted. If she does, and she does walk up, and we're able to get the trade on her and then flash away from the Evelyn. So we get pretty good value there. We're pressuring the Evelyn, and then we can also pressure a plate out of that. So you can see here, I'm pretty aggressive for plates. I'm really trying to push my own lead again in the first couple of minutes. So that's kind of the first thing. You notice your team's not doing super well. Pushing those leads as much as you can, going for that aggressive turret dive when you crash the wave like that is not a bad idea. Going for a bit of that outplay, that type of thing, because now I am up 1,000 gold, and yes, the rest of my team is down, I think, 4,000 at this point, but at least we have that lead where we know, yeah, my team's down 4,000, which means they're down 5,000 as a whole if you take out my gold lead. So definitely very far behind to be down 5,000 gold in 4 minutes, but again, the main thing we're looking for now is to create some type of roam opportunity because we can't really kill Tristana anymore. So now for me, it's like, I want to get this wave pushed. And then after I push the wave, I want to look to roam. Again, here I grab control ward because they have an Evelyn, of course. And then we clear that ward out. And so yeah, for me, I think I should be pushing this wave pretty hard and then possibly looking to roam bot lane because my support is rotating. So this is actually a good thing by support. She kind of realizes that her ADC is not very good. Already 0-3 in like 2 minutes. So they roam to other parts of the map. And we want to stack this lane with our team because we see our junglers going here, our support's going here. And so it makes a lot of sense to look for some type of dive here, which is exactly what we do. And now we're able to take a bunch of plates here as well after. And so you can see here, I don't overchase the second kill. I'm focused on these plates. And I'm totally fine with giving up mid lane plates, even though Tristana pushes turrets really fast, because my champion also pushes turrets really fast. And I'm so far ahead of Tristana that what matters to me more is catching up to the rest of their players more than I care about giving Tristana some gold. Because again, this Tristana is kind of proven already. She's not very good. I mean, we're already up 1k gold. If we're up 1k gold in lane, she's probably not going to do that much in the game. But obviously the rest of the enemy, they're very, very fed. So it makes sense for me to try to stack that lane really hard when it comes to numbers so that I can get a bunch of plates off this turret. And even if I end up losing my mid lane turret, again, my gold relative to the rest of the game is going to be a lot higher, which gives me the potential to carry. And so we've already kind of brought the gold back within 1,000 as a team. We do lose the Herald here, but again, it's not the end of the world now. We had a really bad start to the game. We're just focused on that farm. And so again here, rather than going immediately towards that fight on the Herald, it doesn't make sense. Like my jungler's, you know, he's dead, right? I don't have any value that I get from that fight. I'd way rather prioritize the mid wave. And then after I push mid wave, if I want, I can rotate it afterwards. But even here, you see I'm going to prioritize a second mid wave rather than just rotating right away to the fight. I mean, it just isn't super useful. And at this point, we can prioritize the dragon, we can prioritize plates, we can do that type of thing. So here again, the enemy are kind of stacking bot side too much, so now we're going more towards the mid and the top side of the map. You see how we're kind of avoidant as well of like the enemy. So the enemy, we're really far ahead, so we can kind of create an advantage by just going for the numbers advantage again on that bot side with our support roam. And then on the top side / mid when the enemy overforce on the Herald and have too many people there. So it's just kind of constantly keeping a numbers advantage on some part of the map so that you have an advantage somewhere. Like even if the enemy will be obviously stronger than you overall, you're at least going to be able to, you know, trade. You're going to be able to cross map. You get something out of your kind of time, right? So even if you end up losing, say, 500 gold on the trade because you gave up your bottom lane turret, well, at least you're getting something out of it. Whereas if you fought them directly, you probably would all die because you're so much weaker. And then at this point, we've farmed enough where now it's not a bad idea to sometimes fight with our team. But the main idea that we're still looking for is just farming and getting to our power spikes because there's no real objective up. There's not much to do. So we might as well just focus on catching the wave. So here again, we're going to look for another mid wave. We're going to hit our item spike. And then after we clear it, we're going to look for bottom lane gold as well. So rather than recalling immediately, which is what a lot of people would have done, you saw that I was kind of looking for that bottom lane gold. But then because we saw that the Aurelia was there, I knew I could recall and the wave would come right into me anyways. So I'm kind of just constantly prioritizing these waves. I go mid, I take whatever turret plates, whatever I can get. I go bot, I do the same thing. And I'm just looking for this gold more than any type of fight because there's no objective up, so there's nothing really to do. So I might as well look for some type of side lane. And you can see how much damage we're able to get off onto the Aurelia. She actually almost killed me there. It was a surprising amount of burst damage. But we're still able to get the outplay there. And even if I died, it wouldn't have really mattered. My Mumu would have got the kill. We would have got the gold. Like, it would have been perfectly fine. But obviously, it's nice that we ended up getting the kill. And so, again, we're just prioritizing that kind of gold. And so even here, we notice top side is where the next wave is pushing in. So, like, a lot of people might have gone back bot lane here. But if we pause real quick, we can see bot lane is farther up. My jungler's already possibly going to take that. And it takes a lot longer to get there. But the top lane wave just got pushed, as we saw, which means we can get this top lane wave right here that we just got. We just cleared one, and then we can get another one as well because we knew there's going to be a second one there. And so that gives me a lot more time. And then you see I'm recalling, and now I'm looking for that bot wave. But then I do see my teammates covering bot, so I think it makes a lot of sense to go mid lane here first initially instead. But let's say that, you know, I had a teammate covering mid, and my Aatrox did not go bot. Then I would go bot lane right away. So I'm just constantly looking again for that gold, creating gold off of multiple waves, multiple lanes, and then even farming jungle here. I'm the carry. I'm really fed. I have an Amumu jungle. Amumu doesn't need a million, you know, gold in order to be functional. So if I take one of his camps randomly when he's chasing a kill anyways, it makes sense. And then now at this point, I am really, really strong. I already have my 2 items 9 minutes into the game. I even have the anti-heal component. And so I know that I can definitely fight. You can see the burst damage at this point, largely from the farm. And so if my team wants to fight, I can. But then you're going to see here as well, I'm still not overforcing the fight. And so I think it's really important to note this. Like, I looked for the fight. If there was something there, I was going to take it. But then my team's fighting really, really hard in mid lane. So let's look at this, right? We see 2 of the enemy currently. So out of this fight, we could potentially get 2 kills. Let's say maybe 3 because we don't know where Evelyn is and she'll probably show up. 3 kills would be 900 gold. Now, in that fight, there's a very likely chance that we die as well. So maybe we kill 3 people, we lose 2, we get a total of 300 gold, you know, compared to them, right? They get 600 gold from killing us, we get 900. If we look at this wave, there's about 3 or 4 minions here that's going to be roughly 200 gold. There's a turret here that's another 500-700. I don't actually know exactly how much turrets give. I probably should, but that is way more gold regardless than we would get from some kills. And we don't even know if our team will end up getting some kills anyway. So as you can see, like, my team actually gets some kills anyways. Some of them die. Not really a bad outcome. And then I got an entire wave. I got another wave, and then I got a turret. So that's, again, probably 700 plus gold overall. And then I'm taking a jungle camp as well. So you see, I'm just prioritizing all that farm. And because of that, I'm over 1,000 gold ahead of anyone in this game. And that is in a game where my team started off very poorly, where the game was going really bad. But prioritizing this farming, prioritizing ourselves, because we realized we were the one with the main advantage, has worked out really nicely. And then here at this point, now the dragon is spawning, we want to group more so with our team. So you saw I was really prioritizing my farm quite heavily. But now at this point, obviously I'm going to back because I have my item. But at this point, I'm going to group mid lane. I'm going to fight with my team. I'm no longer going to prioritize farm because there's an objective up. And so that's kind of that thing where you have to understand the shift. Most of the time, you're looking for this gold, you're looking for those turrets rather than the random fight. But if your team's going to take a fight in mid lane like they're doing right now, I'm going to participate because there's a dragon in 20 seconds. So it makes complete sense for me to be here now at this point because we can get something more out of the fight, which is, again, the dragon. And so that's exactly what we do. We end up fighting, and because we're so strong, we're able to easily win this fight. And at this point, my team's caught up as well. They're not weak anymore, so we can just fight as a team perfectly fine. As you see here, we get a double kill. Aatrox got the triple or the double kill or something, but basically our team is quite strong. And then even here, notice how I don't just go straight to the dragon. Initially you saw I was like looking for it, right? But I don't just go dragon because my team's gonna get dragon anyways. Like, I might as well take gold out of it. So a lot of people would go and hit dragon here. What do? I get a mid wave, I go and farm a jungle camp, I farm another jungle camp because I've farmed 2 jungle camps at this point. I got a mid wave, and then I'm getting this bot wave after, and then I'm recalling so I can get my stasis. So that's, again, another 500 to almost 1,000 gold created from those camps in that wave, probably more like 500 from those waves. It gets me stasis. I also get part of my other item. And then where do I walk to? I walk towards the Baron. I don't walk towards the stupid fight completely away from the objective that makes no sense. I walk towards the Baron because that's where a potential fight that matters would happen. That's where the enemy might sneak an objective. They might do something. And then because of that, we're able to spot the Evelyn out here. And because I bought the stasis, which is largely due to the fact that I was farming so well, I'm able to not die. She ends up having the flash, ends up dying, and this ultimately results in us being able to easily get the Baron. So you can again see my prioritization of objectives, of fighting around objectives, of farming rather than doing random fights before objectives, has all led to us being strong enough to fight over the key objectives like Baron, and again has allowed us to now at this point get the Baron and have a pretty easy time snowballing the rest of this game. Just simply going mid lane, I am strong enough where I can pretty much just push mid lane. I don't want to really go to a side lane right away. Now, if I see my team there, I can start going with them. But I don't want to go on a side lane alone because I am really strong and I could get caught out by an assassin or something like that. And so we see our team going into the fight here. And I kind of look for a flank angle, which is a bit odd, but I thought I could kill them. At the end of the day, the Tristana had stasis, and so I didn't kill her. Sadly, if she did not have stasis, I would have probably got the double kill there. But little over eager of me either way. It doesn't really matter too much though. We have the Baron, we still got a kill out of that, and Misfortune's pushing the other side of the map. And so again, you just kind of see the overall kind of theme of this is I'm prioritizing my own farm and my own strength, especially in a game where my team was doing quite poorly early on. But anytime that we see a good angle to fight when an objective is up, we're going to take it. But like when there's no objective up and we're a bit behind, we're going to look to create numbers advantages on certain sides of the map. We're going to take turrets, we're going to play around gold, we're not going to play around these random fights, and then we just fight at those key moments and those key times. And that's really what allows us to be now at this point over 14,000 gold, just by far the strongest person in the game. And at this point, it's really, really hard for the enemy to do anything because I have that stasis up again, and I have the luxury of buying stasis because of the fact that I farmed so well. And then Evelyn stupidly uses her ultimate and everything right away, so I'm able to one-shot her You can see the burst damage, pretty insane. We get the Lulu as well, and it's pretty straightforward to end the game from here. I believe we just kind of end through mid lane. And so yeah, I hope this was useful to you guys. If you guys are interested in coaching from a rank 5 sovereign autofill player like myself, just DM me on Discord, Talon1169, $25 for an hour of coaching where we go over 2 games and write out notes and that type of thing. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.